This is the 2026 Range Rover SE 7-seat long wheelbase. Is it a great luxury SUV option? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're at Land Rover of Shreveport, and if you want to know more about this particular model, check out the link down in the description of the video. We're going to give you all the details. One thing you might notice, it's a little strange for my Northwest Louisiana videos, is what you see right here. This giant block of ice. We got nailed by all the storm recently, and we did have quite a bit of snow and ice here in Northwest Louisiana. I'm glad it's over with. It's actually not that bad today. The exterior color on this particular model is going to be obsidian black satin, and it will have an ebony on ebony interior. And I like how the Range Rover logo really stands out here on the hood against this obsidian black satin finish. And we'll have our premium LED headlights and signature daytime running lights. We're also going to have the LED fog lights, which are on the lower portion of the bumper, show you what all the lights look like. Here are your fog lights down here, which I like what Land Rover does because it's just something that's a little bit different. It doesn't look like your typical round fog light down there. You're going to have the classic look with the Land Rover logo and the grille that we have right here. But something I really like as we move our way down is that you don't have a bunch of gloss black. That means that this area is going to hold up a lot better over time. That's a good thing. You're going to have your sensors, several different sensors here to help you out with your driving aids, and you can see your front view camera right there. As we work our way around, this model will be on air ride suspension. You can adjust the height of the suspension depending on what it is you want. We're going to find all-wheel drive, and you'll find the 23-inch wheels. Now, some people will come in the comment section and say, oh, they're 21-inch wheels. No, they're the optional 23-inch wheels. It would be standard 21, but you often don't see those here. Gloss black finish, that's going to give it a nice look. I like that. Now, your side view mirrors, let's talk about those. We could almost do just a full video on the side view mirrors themselves. They're going to have the turn signal indicators built in. They're going to be heated, power adjustable, going to have blind spot monitoring, and as you can see, they are also going to be power folding. Now, I want to show you something here that is really good to know about. Now, number one, you've got your deployable door handles right here. But on the driver's side, we're going to go over there and show you something else that's very important to know. And that important little detail is the fact that you have a key inside of your remote. So I'm going to put that back in there real fast. What do you need that for? Well, if the battery dies on the remote, here's the thing. I'll show you real quick the easy way. Here is your lock right there. So you can insert the key in right there. However, what do you do if the door handles are not deployed, just like they are right now? No big deal. All you're going to do is you're going to come to this front area, you're going to push on that, you're going to pull on the back, and then you can pull the door handle out easily, and then you stick the key right in there. No big deal where that is concerned. I love the size of these windows. You're going to notice that on this long wheelbase, we have a nice, large, wide rear door, easy to get in and out of. That works really well. We're going to have the panoramic sunroof up top. We'll show you that from the inside in just a little bit. The dual shark fin antennas will be back here. And we'll finish things off with the rear roof spoiler. And don't worry, it's not that there's no rear window wiper, I should say, but it's concealed away right inside of this area up here. So if you need that, you can turn that on. It's on this side. We'll show that to you real quick just so you can see that right there. But it is here. And last but not least, here in this rear area, as far as lighting goes, there are your LED tail lights. Going to have a little bit of an animation to them, as you can see. Now, you will find some gloss black back here, but that's not such a big deal because everything is going this way and not this way. So that's not as likely to be damaged when you're driving down the road. The right place for it if you're going to have it. One more thing about these side doors, they're also soft close. That's going to be in the front and also here in the rear, as you can see. Now, as I tell you about the engine, we're not going to open the hood because we don't want to damage anything with the block of ice right here, but I'm going to show you what's under the hood from another video. It's the 4.4-liter twin-turbo V8 that makes 523 horsepower, 553 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 is 4.4 seconds with that 4.4-liter V8. Top speed is 155 miles an hour. Let's talk about the MPGs. Little bit of a glare out here, so you probably won't be able to see it, so I'm going to tell you what the numbers are. 16 city, 22 highway, 18 combined, and 5.6 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Your gas tank size will be 23.8 gallons because you do have that thirsty V8 under the hood. You don't have capless fuel fill. You have an old-fashioned gas cap. I think a lot of people like that more than they do the capless fuel fill. How about your driving distance on a single tank of gas? 380 miles in the city, 500 miles out on the highway. Those numbers are not guaranteed, just like the MPGs on the window sticker. It just depends on where you drive and how you drive. I know if you're like me, well, I have a very heavy right foot. Probably wouldn't reach those numbers. Here is your key fob or remote. Now you're going to have lock, unlock. You can open and close your power tailgate. You can also turn the headlights on to locate the vehicle after dark if you're having any trouble with that. And the button right here, that's what you're going to push to get the key out. Let me see if I can do that. It might be frozen in our cold weather. There's your key again. That just comes out of the remote. No big deal. Now I'm going to use the remote to open your power tailgate. You can tow up to 8,200 pounds. And let's talk a little bit about setting up our cargo area. So you're going to have your switches right here. That's going to lower your middle row seats. You're just going to push on those, and then we'll do the same thing with the rear seats, and you'll get to see those in action. And I like that I don't have to hold that down. 31.8 up to 79.6 cubic feet of cargo space. And then I'm going to show you one thing that I wish was different here, and that is what we have right here. You have basically a tire repair kit. If you need to air up a tire and deal with that, you can do that out on the road, but that means you don't have a spare tire. That should be here in my personal opinion. Plenty of space here, as you can see. You're going to have your cargo area lighting in the rear, and then we're also going to have our control right here. Now, if you want to raise the rear suspension up, you use this button right here. If you want to lower it, you do it right here. I'm going to let my cameraman come out and show you real quick how all of this looks. Now you can see how high the rear is sitting. You can use this for a number of different things if you want to, depending on what it is you want to do. See if we can get that to work for us. There we go. I can hear the air leaving now, so it's going to start lowering down. But you can use this as really what might be the ultimate tailgating vehicle, but you can also use the air suspension to make loading and offloading cargo back here a little bit easier. You have the split tailgate set up here, so you're going to have the upper tailgate area here with the lights shining down. I like that. That works well. And then this area right here where you can sit and talk about something that you might not have seen here before. What do we have? It's right here. I'm going to give you a good close-up look at that because you're going to notice that you have the vents and everything in here. The shutters are going to be inside there, and you can see that. Now, what exactly is that? That allows air to evacuate from the interior, and there's a couple of different things that does. It gets rid of stale air. It actually makes the doors easier to close without slamming real hard. Quite a few interesting little things that does as far as pulling air out of the interior, but I'd never noticed that before in the past. Kind of an interesting thing that we have on this 26 model. Now you will have a little bit of extra storage space right here with this cargo net that will hold whatever you put in there in place if it's big enough. And if you need to power something, at least 12 volt wise, you have the 12 volt power outlet. You also have the bag hanger. We're going to have one of these on each side. And let's talk about what your second and third row passengers will find. Quite a bit to talk about here. We're going to start with the door panel. A lot of space with the armrest. You're going to have all of your different controls, not only for controlling your power windows, but the power shades that go with the windows and the power shade for the panoramic sunroof. Your seat memory will also be there, and your adjustments for your seats. We're going to have the nice large door bin down below. And then as we work our way into the interior, the door sill right down here in this area right here, that's going to be illuminated on the driver and passenger sides with the front and rear doors. Now, here's something to talk about. Let's talk about controlling these seats. Now, you can increase leg space for the rear seat passengers if you want to do that. We'll move that back in place. We can recline the seats or take a little recline out, as you can see right there. And then we've got the controls right here. Now, those controls on the top are for raising and lowering the rear seats. The arrows on the bottom When I hit the button down there, I'm gonna hit that bottom one. Here's what's happening. First of all, the passenger seat moves up a little bit, and I'm not touching anything. This is all done automatically. The seat will get up and out of the way, and that allows me to hop into the back seat. Let's see how agile I am today on this freezing cold day. We'll get this seat up a little bit so you can see, hopefully. There we go. Got to get things up some. So, plenty of space back here. We're leaving the unwrapping for whoever buys this Range Rover. That's why I've left the seat covers on here, the plastic. But you can see what you have here. I do think that while I'd rather have the air conditioning vents in the ceiling, the location here isn't too bad because it's closer to the passenger than it would be if it was down in this area. So that does work. We'll also find our cup holder right here. You can turn on the heated seats back here. That's nice to have. We can move things back and forth. I'm not going to move everything, but this is for moving the middle seats back and forth out of the way. And then we also have, I don't know how well you can see it from right here. We'll see if we can get you a good shot. But there is a USB port there as well. So quite a bit going on in the rear seating area. Also a little light right here. Hopefully you can see that shining down on my hand just to help illuminate things a little bit back here. Also, there's our panoramic sunroof. I told you about that earlier. We're going to have the power shade that goes back and forth, and that front portion will tilt and slide open. All right. Talk about the second row. A lot going on here. Now we're going to have the air conditioning vents up here this time. My favorite location, as I said, that's closer to the passenger's face. And as far as the power shades go, just going to push the button right there. There goes the power shade. You can use that. Now I can drop that back down if I want to. And we can also push this second button right here, and right above our heads here. Here's what's going to happen when I push that button. The power shade is going to be drawn forward. So if your rear seat passengers say, you know what, I think it is a little bit too bright in here, it's getting too hot, I'm going to deal with that. Now, like I said, you have the adjustment here for the recline in the seats, and we'll fold down our center armrest right here. You can use as an armrest. The button right here releases the very small, but it is here, storage area with that nice, comfortable felt material. Then we push the button on the front. That reveals the cup holders that are neatly concealed away. And you'll have to have your microfiber towel when you close that so you can wipe the fingerprints off of there. We'll close that up. The rear of the center console will feature 2 more air conditioning vents and your command center for managing all of that. It is dual zone climate control here in the rear seating area. We're going to have our temperature controls right here. We can turn the temperature down if we want to. We can turn it up. Now, if you push on it like this, that's going to bring up your seat controls for either the heated seats. There's 3 stages of heated seats. This is just for your middle row passengers, and 3 stages for the ventilated seats. Let me pull back on that one more time, and there is our fan speed. Now, you can do the same thing over here on the left-hand side, depending on what you need to do and what you want to do right there. That is the same way on both controls. Now, we'll find our 12-volt power outlet right here, a couple of USB ports, and then another one of those handy-dandy power outlets. And as far as just basic convenience goes, there are a couple of seat pockets built into the back of the driver and passenger seats here on both sides. Don't tell anybody who you see asking what the price is down in the comments section. Tell them to watch the whole video like you did. The sticker price is $168,750. Let's see what else you get for that price. Now we'll start with our upper console up here. We're going to have the controls for opening and closing your power shade and the sunroof right here. Not a whole lot else to talk about. You can turn on your lights and all that good stuff as far as your reading lights go. And then underneath the mirror right here, if you're wondering what these controls are, that is your home link. So that's for programming up to 3 garage door openers if you need to do that. Now, we're going to have the button right there for opening the more traditional position of the glove box, but we also have the upper glove box, which I really like having that here. You can see that's here. We're going to let you see the 12-volt that's over there real quick. If we can open that up, let's see if we can reach over there and do that. There we go, and show you that. There you go with the 12-volt, just so you can see it right there. And now we'll take a look at the passenger side door panel. Now the thing I like here at this price point, it better be here. Not only do you have your seat controls built into the door panel, but you have seat memory for the passenger side. That is always a good thing. Plenty of room with the armrest and plenty of room with the door bin. Now, one thing you might say, where is lumbar support? I'm going to show you that in just a bit when we get to the center screen, but first we're going to come over here to the driver's side and I'm going to show you what we have going on over here. On the driver's side door, again, seat memory and your seat controls right there. This button allows you to fold in the power folding side view mirrors if you need to do that from the driver's seat, and then everything for controlling your power side view mirrors and your power windows, and then the controls right here for the lock and unlock. Now you have the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. That control is right here. Here are your controls as far as your shifter paddles for working your way back and forth through the 8-speed automatic transmission. Adaptive cruise control is right here. You also have your heated steering wheel control there, and then some of your other features such as voice controls, or commands I should say, all that good stuff. But if you select right there, you're gonna have some arrows that come up that allow you to make changes to different areas and see different things. You can see you have the HUD settings, so that means you have a head-up display here. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is here. Quite a bit going on where that is concerned. You can bring up different things depending on what you want to see. You've got your navigation built in on the right-hand side. You do have your digital speedometer with traffic sign recognition. And when you put the transmission into drive, that P will turn into a D. You can just see what's going on where that is concerned. And over here on the left-hand side, you can use your turn signals. I hope you do if you've been to turn signal school and learned how to use your turn signals, which takes a few years to do. It is a lot of work and effort. Yes, I'm being sarcastic. Controls for your headlights and taillights, your fog lights right there, and your front and rear window wipers. Now we're going to make our way over here to the center screen. There's a lot to talk about here. Depending on what you need to do, some of it can be done right here on the screen. Now, you want to turn the auto stop start on or off, you can do it right there. We can come right here and see our driving modes as far as dynamic, comfort, eco, auto, terrain response, grass, gravel, and snow, sand, mud, and ruts. You have wade, rock crawl, and configurable if you want to customize everything. That's all going to be right there. And we can exit out of that if we want to. Navigation is here. You can wirelessly pair your smartphone with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All of that's going to be here. Didn't mean to go into that screen. Let's get out of that screen. There we go. Just like that. And depending on what's going on with your vehicle, with the slope assist, you've got that right here, and you can see a few things that are going on where that is concerned. You can see the front wheels turning live right there if you need to know what's going on there, and then your different angles here as far as that goes. You do have low traction launch and hill launch assist. We can also come in here on some of our different features that we need to turn on and off, depending on what we need to do right there. You also have your different modes, which is going to be on a couple of different screens, as you can see. You can adjust the ride height. Now, depending on what you do, if you want to have access, that's when it's sitting really low. You can hit off-road 1 or 2. That's where it's going to raise up on the suspension pretty high. Now, when you get to 15 miles per hour, it will go back to normal. So depending on what you need to do, you can use that, but in your low speed situations, it will stay at the other settings. You also have wade sensing if you need to drive through some water and you know what the max is that you should be driving through. Now I'm going to go back home right here and just go through a few more things. You've got the compass right there if you need to see that. Now we're going to go right here and I'm going to select the different icons to show you everything that's here. Like I said, you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, as you can see right here. You've got your different camera views, which I really like this. It makes things very easy. You can see all around the vehicle depending on where you need to see. We can see from a few different angles. Let me get that to work for me. Let's hit the right one. And there we go with that. We can go to our rear view camera, our front view camera. Just depends on what it is you want to see. We can also go to 3D and just see that going around. We can hit right there if we want to and go from one side to the other. That will take care of all of that. And you also have your off-road view, which can help in a few different areas. That's going to give you that front view on the camera right there. And then we'll come back here because there's a couple more interesting things to show you as far as this goes. Now, we're going to go right here to dynamics, and you can see what we have here as far as being able to turn things off and on. Depending on what you want to do, you might want comfort, you might want dynamic in certain areas. You also can come to your stopwatch right here. If you want to use that, you can go to lap time, and you also have your G meter right there. It's like having a race car, isn't it? Pretty cool stuff. And just to cover a couple more little things here in the screen, you've got your vehicle dimensions. If somebody asks about that and you want to tell them, well, there you go. You can do it right here. And then we can come back to this screen. Now, there is a lot to talk about here. I'm not going to cover every single little thing, but just so you can see what's going on here as far as some of these features go. Your cabin lighting is right here, and I'm going to try and get into a darker atmosphere later on to show you the ambient lighting here, but depending on what you want to do, you can use the pre-selected colors. You can come here and you can customize that. You can see what you can do here as far as accent, background. You can see everything that's here depending on what you want to do. You can turn that on and off. And if it's not working, that's why. Make sure you have it turned on. That way it's going to work. Now, you also can come on this screen and change things with the audio. For those of you that want to adjust that, the treble, the bass, and the subwoofer, you can see what all is going on here where that is concerned with your Meridian sound system. And then we'll come back out of here because there is one more very important thing I want to show you. Now, you noticed that we didn't have lumbar support controls earlier in the video. I'm going to come right here and you can see what I selected on the screen, and you can see right here you can adjust the headrest, the shoulders, the bolstering. There's your lumbar support. You can also adjust the cushion. There's quite a few things going on here. You have the massage seats as far as that goes, heat seat or seat heat. Let's get that without being backwards on that. Seat heat. And then you've got more, which allows you to adjust the seats right here. If you want to go to adjusting the folding, you want to fold the seats, headrest adjustments, or the chauffeur, because that's really what this vehicle is all about, is having such a big back seat that you can chauffeur people around if you want to do that. Now, close that real quick just so you can see the nice little cover right there. And then we're going to have our wireless charging pad right here. Here is one of the USB ports, a little bit of storage space behind that. And then I'm going to close that back up. I do like this shifter. It's very easy to use. It fits nicely in the palm of my hand. There's a button on the front that you push, and that allows you to adjust whether you're in drive, neutral, or you can shift into reverse. And then you push the P right there to go back into park. The engine is started and stopped right here. And we're also going to have the cup holders right here if you need to use those. But if you want some more storage space, there's actually a good bit underneath this area, as you can see, and another USB port. Now, while you do have the armrests built in right here, I like to use the center console lid as the armrest, just more comfortable for me. And when we open that up, now you have plenty of space within. You can see that right there, way down in there. I can't even reach from that angle. There we go. I can reach way down in there like that. It's a lot deeper than anything else. And one more thing I want to show you is the seat belt buckles. Hopefully you can see that. This is illuminated, so you can see the lighting right there. We'll show you over there on the passenger side. Illuminated belt buckles. Quite a bit going on where that is concerned. A lot of neat features here. But one thing that is not lacking here, just as the technology and all of the amenities goes, is the driving experience when you need to step on the pedal. You got plenty of horsepower and torque. Let's go for a test drive. Okay, one more thing, the Meridian sound system. Let me give you a quick sampling of that. It's the Meridian 3D sound system. Here's what it sounds like, at least through my lapel mic. I hope that does it justice. It sounds fantastic in person. Okay, here we go on the test drive. We'll drive over the railroad tracks and let you listen. Handles that very well, and it's pretty quiet here in the interior. Now, if you're looking for plenty of power and torque, this 4.4 liter turbocharged V8 will not let you down as far as that goes. We'll get on it just a little bit to get around this truck. Not too much. Won't take a lot to do it. Now, if it was broken in and I can really get on it, it will get up and move with absolutely no problem. As I mentioned earlier in the video, you have that sub 5 second 0 to 60 and a top speed of 155 miles per hour, so it will get down the road with no problems. A very comfortable ride quality and very comfortable seats. In all 3 rows, there's a reasonable amount of room, but especially in the first and second rows. The third row, well, it does okay. It's not too bad, but you can move those middle seats a little bit to help out with that, as far as that goes, to help out with leg space. It's very easy to see out of, and you've got all of your great safety features such as blind spot monitoring and different features like that that are going to help out as far as staying safe on the road and knowing what's going on around you. But the best thing for that is the good old-fashioned practice of just paying attention, something that seems to be lost with a lot of people in this day and age. As far as adjustability goes, the driver's seat is fully adjustable for anybody of any height, being nice and comfortable. With the adjustment built into the steering wheel as well, you're going to have everything set just right, whether you're really tall or maybe not so tall. Everything will be just fine. And the technology here, at least in my personal opinion, is not difficult to learn and use with this Pivi Pro infotainment screen. Everything is somewhat simple to deal with in my opinion, but if you need help, you're in the right place. You can come right here to YouTube and learn what you need to learn. There should be a tutorial there for you and you'll be just fine. Overall, a very well balanced vehicle. The gas pedal and the brake pedal, very easy to manage. Brake pedal is easy to adjust to, so you don't have any trouble where that is concerned. If you're looking for a very nice luxury vehicle, a lot of space, a lot of great technology, plenty of power under the hood, the Range Rover is definitely something you need to consider. And there it is, the 2026 Range Rover P530 7-seat long wheelbase. Is it a great luxury SUV option? I'm going to say it is, but I'm curious to know what you think. A lot of people say I'm supposed to answer that question, but you got to answer that question for yourself, because some of you may say it is or it isn't based on what's been presented in the video. I'm curious to know what you think. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Land Rover of Shreveport for loaning us this Range Rover for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.